So lots of Xbox related news for gaming news this week, as Xbox has been leaking a lot of information about their upcoming Xbox in 2028. Could 2028 be the next gaming console generation? Let's have a look at this article from The Verge, and I'm going to just speed run it for today. It is a long article, so let's go ahead and read it and check a look. Microsoft's next Xbox coming 2028 envisions hybrid computing. Ooh. And here is what how it looks like. Microsoft's new diskless Xbox Series X is far from the only news that just leaked out of the FTC versus Microsoft case. The documents may also reveal Microsoft's far future plans for 2028, by which the company believed it could achieve a full convergence of its cloud gaming platform and physical hardware to deliver cloud hybrid games. Quote, our vision, develop a next generation hybrid game platform capable of leveraging the combined power of the client and the cloud to deliver deeper immersion and entirely new classes of game and experiences. So here is the photo that is presented to us on The Verge. And as you can see here, we have this is technical stuff too. This is quarter one CY 2023. I don't know. I know CY stands for something in years, but I'm not sure what it stands for. But basically, here's what they're aiming for investment. The the CPU is going to be an ARM of 64 versus X64 in Zen 6. CPU balance of big little CPU cores. GPU co-designed with AMD or licensed AMD IP95. NPU balancing the desire for flexible programmable ML silicon versus high performance silicon for targeted workloads and forward compatibility. For graphics, they say next gen DirectX ray tracing, dynamic global illumination, micro polygon rendering optimizations, ML based super resolution, extensibility model for faster iteration and innovation, and a thin operating system. Lacking thin OS for less than $99 consumer or handheld devices. So that is what they're going for with the hybrid. Okay. And then we're going to continue going on here. We're going to take a look at what new innovations they have presented to us from Microsoft. So here is the generation innovations from low to full. Xbox back in 2001, their innovation was Xbox Live. That was a DirectX innovation. Then we had the Xbox 360 back in 2005. That would with the Connect, digital media store, and game input. Then we had the Xbox One in CY 2023. Xbox Security Processor, Game Pass, and DirectX innovation. Then we had the Xbox Series X and S in 2020, CY 2020. Project X Cloud was the big thing, direct storage and DFA manufacturing. And now coming up in 2028 for next generation, we have no idea what it's going to be called yet, but they have cloud hybrid games, immersive game and app platform. So the next thing is going to be the cloud hybrid games for 2028, along with immersive game and app platform. Now let's take a look at more of the article. It's something that Microsoft's kind of sort of already tried by offering photorealistic scenery in Microsoft Flight Simulator by streaming in that data from a 2 petabyte cloud instead of your Xbox or PC, where most of the game is running. But the best example is still this Amazon demo from 2014, where the Lord of the Rings esque armies don't actually live on your device. It's only the ballista that runs locally, so you can feel that immersive experience. And here is the unmasking from Amazon Game Studios right after this short advertisement. So as you can see here, the the video of the game here. This was back in 2014. So that's how it looks like. Now let's continue here. So here we have the next generation gaming powered by AI and ML. So let's take a look at this. So game performance, we have super resolution deep normal network, frame rate interpolation, and X cloud latency compensation. So green stands for established projects already in Microsoft. Yellow is anything that's research, and white is a future indication. Game performance. Let's start with category one. Super resolution deep neutral network. Then they have frame rate interpolation. X cloud latency compensation. One of each color. Then we have game experiences for 2028. AI agents, codecs, and RL based. Matchmaking, player ranking. Most likely for like Call of Duty and stuff in 2028. Greater efficiency. All of them are research proof of concept. AI game testing. Procedural content generation. Physics inverse kinematics. NLP dialogue generation. Then player services, all of them are green, which is established already. Safety and toxicity, personalization and discovery, and personal and support services. Then we have live operations. Two of them are research proof of concept, and the other one is white for the future iteration. Engagement and retention and management, monetization improvement, of course, why not? And cloud resource optimization. So all of these are systems that are working for 2028 for whatever the next Xbox is going to be called. The documents include an entire potential roadmap for the technology that would have seen hardware design begin in 2024, the first dev kits arrive in 2027, and the first hybrid cloud games being produced from 2024 to 2026. And let's take a look at this article. I mean, not this article, but this particular graphic. As we can see here, the journey has already started. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing talking about the abbreviations here, but you can see from here, key the from CY 2022 to CY 2029. All of these for the Xbox into 2028, including Silicon, Creator Platform, launch event, consumer devices, and key milestones. So if you guys know about these terms, this is for you. This particular graphic is you calling your name, but so that, but I do want to highlight, however, the launch content because it is in English. Concept pre-production will begin in CY 2023, which I believe we are in now. Then game production for Generation 9 will begin sometime before the end of CY 2024. End of CY 2023 and the beginning of CY 2024 to the end of CY 2026. They're going to start porting within the middle of that year. Then optimization will begin for Generation 10, which is the new console, in CY 2027. Then finaling or finalizing CY 2028, and finally the launch of the console or the system in CY 2029 and beyond. So that is for that graphic right there. But before that, according to another slide, the company needed to make some key decisions on that silicon alignment on building a thin operating system to run the local parts of those cloud games, which seems to be responsible, and which hardware it would go to build on to go with it. It is very possible none of that happened, just as Microsoft abandoned its dedicated cloud SKU, xCloud SKU, in favor of partnering with other providers instead. So let's take a look at this graphic, the path to leadership in gaming, and we have the XGP subscribers and the smart TV app, the universal wireless controller, the mid-gen consoles, and Generation 10. And as you can see here, cloud first gamer, smart TV, streaming stick, streaming stick apps, low-end PCs, limited mobile only. Then PC first gamers or gaming PCs and GP for PC. Console first multi-device gamers or console gamers on XGP for console and XGP um Ultimate. Oh, that's Xbox Game Pass. I meant to say. So as you can see here, in 2023, right now, as of this particular graphic, there are about 40 million of the Xbox Game Pass subscribers. Now, keep in mind that this graphic is only showing like a prediction of what's going to happen because we do not know what's going to happen in 8 years or 5 years when the Xbox 2028 is going to be released. But we can see from this data or this prediction that they're going to predict that in 2030 or fiscal year 2030, they're going to predict that there's going to be over 80 million subscribers on Xbox Game Pass when it comes to cloud first gaming, over 40 million when it comes to PC first, and just over 30 million, around 30 million for the console first plus multi-device gamers when it comes to Xbox Game Pass. And with Xbox Game Pass being the thing, no more Xbox Live Gold. That's where, or the core is now what it's called. So there's a lot of people subscribing to Xbox Game Pass. So that is the graphic here. And let's take a look. There's one more graphic here that we need to take a look at. But first, let's read about this particular portion. According to the leaked documents, the pitch appears to have come out of a major ongoing game conversation among Microsoft's top leadership, including CEO Satya Nadella, Xbox boss Phil Spencer, Windows devices and operating system leader Panos Panay, and Xbox xCloud CVP Kareem Kohardi, and more. Quote, we are building four types of computers. One, cloud everything. Two, a hybrid Xbox. Three, hybrid Windows. And four, hybrid HoloLens, wrote Nadella. According to the leaked document, we need to bring the company's systems talent together to align on a unified vision. End quote. Quote, we can't go from big idea to big idea. We need a single big idea to rally the company around, he wrote. And another document from May 2022 dubbed quote Roadmap to 2030, Roadmap to 2030, the company suggests its new strategy may revolve around the controller. Controller becomes the hero, reads one key trend. Ac- Accounting adding the new Xbox controller is the only thing needed to play on every device. That document goes to describe Sabay, the new Xbox controller, which we discussed yesterday on that article. If you want to read that particular or watch that particular video, link to that will be in the description below. Let's continue reading. That includes direct to cloud connectivity as well as Xbox Wireless and Bluetooth. It also contains a picture of possible mobile controller, a one-hand controller, and a gaming keyboard and mouse that Microsoft apparently considered building itself. So as you can see here on this graphic, so with this one-hand controller along with a mobile controller, as shown here in this particular presentation graphic, we have the one-hand controller right here that looks like your usual universal remote that you use for like TV. And then we have this mobile controller that looks like an actual vision of another thing that we discussed earlier this week. The one for iPhone 15 when they discussed about PlayStation and looking at this particular product, it looks like that particular device. In fact, if we take a look at my channel, we talked about a little bit about this, and that was called and that my friends at the time was called the PlayStation PlayStation Backbone One. And if we take a look at the image of the Backbone One based on this particular thumbnail that I made for this particular video, it almost looks like the same. If you take a look at the Backbone One, according to what we have been seeing here. If you take a look at the mobile controller, that looks like the Backbone One, but for Xbox. Pay attention to how it looks like in terms of the graphic, because they almost look the same. The only difference, of course, one is for PlayStation, one is for Xbox, and the other one, the one for PlayStation, controls with the iPhone 15. That's the only difference. Let's see what they're gonna do for mobile controller though, when it comes to Xbox. But we are not done. Hold up. Let's continue. There's more. There's a little bit more to read. The document also mentions a cloud console keystone as a project that had already been funded, along with the new Brooklyn Xbox X Series X refresh, which we talked about in our video yesterday, and the aforementioned Stability gamepad. Though it noted that the full product vision for Stability was not currently approved as of May 2022. In 2021, Microsoft hired Kim Swift, a former Google Stadia design director best known for Valve's Portal, to build a new team focused on cloud native games. But it's not clear if this has anything to do with this initiative. Sony hired Jade Raymond away from the records of Stadia as well, and her studio is working on cloud gaming technology ahead of a likely new Sony game cloud push. And now they have the framework to start the cloud devices because they hired two people who work with cloud stuff. And it just so happens that Stadia did not work, and now they're getting hired for Xbox for what could be Xbox 2028. Now remember, let's recap the article before we leave today for this video. Remember that we started talking about the roadmap for 2028, including including what they have planned for the device itself. We also talked about their innovations, including Project Connect, Project X Cloud, and the the immersive app game and app performance with cloud hybrid games. Then we talked about a little bit about how what is on your console and how on what is actually inside of the experience. Then we talked about their gaming powered by AI and ML. Then we talked about the roadmap for Xbox 2028, including what they're doing for launch content. Then we headed into the path of leadership in gaming, including how many subscribers in Xbox Game Pass are predicting for 2030 in terms of what they vision. Then we talked about this, what they are looking for other devices, including a one-hand controller and a mobile controller that looks like a Backbone One, but for Xbox. And finally, we talked about how two employees of former Google Stadia now we're going to join the team for this particular Xbox. So, with all that said, are you ready for Xbox 2028 or whatever it's going to be called? So if it's going to be Xbox, hybrid Xbox, how is the gaming landscape going to change? That's most likely number one. Number two, how are we going to more cloud-based gaming in 2028? Looks to be so, if I do say so myself, according to this article. So, I ask you all today's question of the day for this article and for this discussion reading. Do you think gaming as a whole is starting to get to that point where we need to talk about cloud gaming? Because for the most part, for most of my gaming culture, we've been on the disc. Okay, I grew up 1995. I grew up in the 90s. We still have cartridges. We still have discs. We didn't start talking about like what's this installs until like 20 something 20 20 tens or something like that. So I was still with the what they call the old school style of gaming. Nowadays we're talking about like cloud, we're talking about X cloud, we're talking about hybrid computing. So that's the question of the day. Are we headed into a more cloud based gaming structure of gaming? Let me know in the comments below because I want to read them comments. And then, second question, what do you guys think the Xbox 2028 will be called? Because there's been wild names out there, y'all. So that is the end of today's article readings. If you want to read about VR chat and what they're doing for content gating, make sure to check a look at that video later on. And we are live tonight on YouTube and Twitch. We're live tonight on YouTube and Kick for Mario. at 5:30, and then at 9:30 we're going to have some marbles on stream on YouTube and Twitch. If you want to play, make sure you have your Twitch account ready. I am going to be by on Twitch. I go by the name Yuki Plays LA. On YouTube, this channel. Enjoy, and we'll see you guys for a lot of fun later this afternoon. And am I about to be an Xbox guy? We'll find out in 2028. Enjoy.